So I don't normally do this kind of video, but a while ago I decided to back some software that I thought was kind of neat. I have a lot of friends who were into the D&D type gaming thing. Um, I don't particularly like to play myself, but one of the things I did get into is I am really into 3D printing. So I do a lot of, well, I used to, I don't do as much now, but um, when I had more free time, I did a lot of like resin 3D printing on small parts. So I would do like little props and figures and things like that for other people, or I would just design them for fun using sculpting or 3D modeling software to make up some of that stuff. And while I was doing some of that, I came across this really cool Kickstarter, and it's called Dungeon Alchemist. And I decided to back it partly because I'm a programmer by trade myself, so I wanted to help support these folks. Their idea looked neat, it looked genuine, it looked kind of unique. You don't really see this kind of thing a lot. So, from what I gather, the gist of the program is that you are going to be making maps that you can have printed out or you can print out and make playable field areas. They have the right dimensions and everything you can put in. I think you can even specify dimensions for making the playing fields for playing the D&D games. So, so sorry about that. My phone went off. But and I just thought this was super neat. And they went above and beyond in some cases. You can even make maps for digital content, that kind of thing, if I'm looking at some of this right now. I just installed this a few minutes ago. I'm by no means an expert at it. I just fired it up and decided to play with it because I thought it was neat and I wanted to get this idea out there about, um, uh, programmers making unique concepts to solve sort of different and new problems. And I just thought that was really awesome. So you're going to see me clunk through this a little bit. I'm not an expert in it at all. This is a very informal video. My wife's out doing a 5K, and I figured, hey, what the heck? I just got this email about this released, and I backed it a while ago. It is so cool when you back a Kickstarter and the product actually comes to life. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this. I'm not an expert on it. I don't really play, so a lot of you are going to be like, well, you know nothing about the game. And that's true. I really don't know that much about the game. But I thought this was super neat, and it looks fairly high quality, and it looks well done, at least from what I've seen so far. So I would say, give some props to the folks who did this. This is pretty cool. So this is a map I've been playing around with just a little bit, sort of drawing stuff out. I'm not an expert on this at all, but you get the idea. This is the kind of thing you can make. You can zoom in and out. But I'm going to go ahead and let's start from a little further back. So I'm going to go File, New Map, and it says here, unlimited grid for digital use or grid limited to paper size. And it shows some different paper sizes. I'm not certain. I noticed when I tried to export a test form earlier that it had some different formats that I'm not familiar with. I'm wondering if this could work for exporting to some like more professional printers or people who do this kind of stuff. That would be cool. You could make your own and send the files off and have them make them. I imagine that might be possible, so that's pretty cool. You can also export it as an image and then do what you want with the image. And it looks like you could print it out on your own paper if you wanted to, your tool. So you can change the print digital, you can change the paper size, you can set the width, height, and tile size. That's cool that you can set the tile size. You can set it in centimeters or inches. You can set your terrain as dark parchment, so on, forest, grasslands. Background cannot be changed after the map is created, so that's cool. So you have hills, fords, mountains, floodplains, ravine, canyon. I'm not familiar with that. I'll pick a different one from what I did before. We'll go with no vegetation. Water, yeah, we want water. River. So I'm just, this is going to start a new one. We'll see how it looks. I'm going to switch to inches. I'm going to say a 1-inch tile. Sure, that looks like it'll work. So I'm going to create this. Oh wow, that's a decently sized map. That's bigger than I thought it was, and I'm not really sure how I would use this to make it's a lot of water, so I'm not sure how I would use this to make like a room. So this is different and unique, maybe, but it's cool. Maybe it's like a bridge that goes across or something. So okay, we'll start with let's go with uh, village. Let's say I'm in this section over here. It says draw room. So you have draw room, you have, I guess, remove room, edit room. Okay, so let's go over a little bit of the controls. This shows you some different types of rooms you can draw. Apparently it has some AI functionality built into this where it helps generate the rooms. Um, and you can place objects, place doors, place windows, place walls, place floor tiles, environment settings. I'll have to explore that later, and more environment settings. So this is pretty cool. You can change the terrain a little bit here. So I don't know much about what I'm doing, but we're just gonna have some fun with this. So let's say cemetery. Let's do farmstead. So I imagine it would have to be bigger than this map shows. So maybe I'm going the wrong way. But it says you click and then you drag in order to make your area where you want to make your buildings for your map. So and then you can keep dragging to continue making it. So I'm going to go kind of over here, and maybe there's something that goes off into this pool right here. There's a I want to try to make like a circle thing here just because, yeah, it cuts back around. Can I make like a bridge that goes across this? That would be neat. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's okay. Don't really need to. I have done it, whether I know how to or not. And yeah, I don't know how I can move around this map. Oh yeah, you can right click to move around the map. So I'm gonna go across here and go over here and go over here, just because this looks neatish. All right, so that's probably enough playing around with drawing the map as odd as I have made it look. So what I'm going to do now, I have drawn runes, and you press this when you're done, and it'll generate the runes for you. At least it did last time that I did this. So it's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. And there we go. It's made kind of this tavern around water thing. Obviously, I could have themed this better, but like I said, I'm not really one of the good players for this. And we can look at this as a little more of a 3D view, which is kind of neat how it made up the map for that there. So we can go to like place objects, and you can come in here and select an object, and you can choose to, I think this is duplicate. Yeah, that's duplicate. I don't want to do that. Oh, okay, escape will not get out of that. So just right click to remove it. I'm going to collect this and delete, and that just removes it. So that's how you can manipulate some objects. You can add objects. So we'll say furniture. Sure. Let's add a. This is like fancy. This would be way out of theme for this. But, you know, here we go. A blacksmith's workbench, because that's going to be in a tavern. Sure. Why not? We'll put that kind of right here in the room just to make it in the way. There we go. So that's neat. You can apparently rotate, and this is sort of freeform, so it doesn't look like it has to be perfect. That's neat, so that you don't have to make your rooms look absolutely perfect there. That is neat. I like that. You can add some curves and things to it. Okay, that's cool. I love how it put like a bed over here in this corner that's almost impossible to access with the little circular thing that I made. So obviously my tunnels and sizes here are a little bit crazy. I'm just going to delete a bunch of this stuff. Not sure what it was doing here, but you get the idea. You can place stuff there. Religious armory. Yeah, let's armory. So So we're going to add a suit of armor, and we will put him, like, can I get him to face this way? Rotate him. I hope that's forward. Yeah, suit of armor. Okay. So we won't add too much right now. I wonder if you could do second levels. I'll have to study that a little detail. Maybe you'd make like two maps and make them the same and over each other. I'm not sure if that's possible, but that's kind of neat. Magical, accessible, garden, screens. Okay, all kind of cool furniture things you can do in here. Nature. So I can add some plants, I suppose. Storage. Ah, okay. So we could add like, okay, you can scroll. That's neat. Structural. So we could add like grating and vents and things. Okay, that's cool. Place doors. So, okay, we're going to put a door like right here because I don't know why. Now, I'm curious for those of you who actually play this stuff, because I really don't, sorry. But if this 3D view that you see right now, is that playable, or is it better to have it like completely vertical like this? So that's interesting to me. Special, like a special door. Okay. There's a lot of stuff on here. There's like fences, arches, all kind of things. So that's cool. Place windows, so we could add a window maybe like right. Oh, did I do that right? Okay, well, stone wouldn't make sense. Sure, let's go with like one of these pull-out window things. Put it right there. And then, yeah, what does that look like? Okay, that's neat. Some of you are probably screaming right now about how non-creative I am. You know, sorry. I'm more excited about the software itself, and the way they created it. Floor tiles, so I guess maybe I could change the color of the flooring here. Okay, yeah, that's neat. Do stone. Yeah, put some stone right here, just because. Environmental, so maybe I can make this more like, oh, okay, you can change the, okay, that's interesting. And then maybe make it more nighttime. All right, so yeah, there's a lot of that you can do. You can change that part of the environment. Raise terrain, lower terrain, flatten, smooth, clear. That's neat. Well, anyway, I don't want to make this a super long video all about me just learning how to use this because that's probably pretty boring. But I wanted to draw like a basic map up and then show you. Okay, you can make this go away entirely. That's neat. But and then show you. You can save it. So I'm going to save map as. Uh, you're going to love the creativity here. Water Tavern. There we go. Water Tavern place. All right, so that's saved. And now I want to go back to like the export that I was looking at earlier because this part to me was interesting where you go to export and it has print export and you can go to Foundry export, Fantasy Grounds Unity export, Roll20 export, Universal VTT export, and image only. I'm going to select image only because honestly I don't know what these are. I'm assuming these are like places you could have your stuff printed out or maybe some digital format you could use it in if you wanted to put it in games or something. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with image, and like I said, that would be cool if you could have it sent to like a place for printing there. That would be neat. So this shows your quality level. I suppose this is render settings, it looks like. Perspective, so this is the different perspectives you could use. The color, I think this is like grid color. Yeah, that's grid color, and you can change the level of transparency. I don't think you can change the level of thickness, but that seems to be okay. I mean, I don't think you would need to too much. Okay, so I'm going to press export, and I did one earlier. We'll call this, we'll save that. Exporting completed, which is good. So now we're going to open up my image here off screen, and I'll pull it over if I can. So here is my completed map. I'm hoping that this is being captured on the screen like it should be. If not, I apologize. But yeah, it saves that as something you can export to print or use digitally or something as a playing field. That is really neat. And it's a really unique idea from the folks who made this software. I work in embedded and firmware and .NET applications and maybe some mobile apps and things like that. But it's so cool to see somebody take this kind of game-like approach, but make it into a tool that's not really a game. It's something that's made for gaming, and it's just for intended to making fields and stuff. I just thought that was neat, especially the level of detail and work they put into it. Like whenever you're running this normally, you can see the animations from the like the water is animated, the fire when it flickers is animated, and that's just in your editor. And so that's cool because they added a little bit of being in Substance while you're editing, and that's sort of neat. I don't know that this has any music. I don't hear any background music or anything. They didn't want to use the resources on it, or assumed whoever was using it would already have their own music. But anyway, I don't want to make this a super long video. I just kind of wanted to introduce this. It's a cool project that I backed a little while ago on Kickstarter. And I know a few people who I'll probably wind up making some maps for. So this is really neat. I hope this is the kind of thing that if it continues and gets good reviews and all, maybe some of you will consider backing it or consider buying it. I want to say it's on Steam. I want to say, I'm not sure. This may be early access, so they may not have fully released the purchase version yet. You have to keep an eye on that. I think I got an early access because of that. I don't know those details. But yeah, take a look at it. It's called Dungeon Alchemist. Do some looking up on it if you're interested in this kind of thing. I think the price is around $40-50, something like that. Which, if I were buying it, honestly, for me, probably not because I don't play. But if you're somebody who plays a lot and has an interest in making your own maps, um, that might be a pretty decent thing for the hobby. I know some people who spend a lot of money on this hobby, so yeah, I don't know. What are your folks' thoughts on it? From a software maker's perspective, myself, I just think it's really neat to see something like this. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Kind of neat. Wanted to show it to you. Not really sure why, but give these people some love who made it. I guess it's pretty cool. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Talk to you later.